Gun companies make cool pistols, but really suck at naming them. They have to be super serious rather than simply being awesome. So today on the channel, we'll be awarding gun companies with names that are better than what they came up with. Are you ready? Stand by. Welcome back to the Humble Marksman channel. I'm David, and boys, today we're going to be using this legitimate media enterprise to let the gun companies know what they should have been naming their pistols all along. What they should be doing is approaching me and saying, hey, we're coming up with this new product, let us know what you think about it before we start producing it. But they don't do that, so I have to tell them, for free after the fact once the decision's already been made. So I'm offering my services now for free, consulting on what they should be naming these pistols. Why do that, you ask? Hey bro, want to try out the trigger on my SIG P320? That's not bad range, bro, but you should try out the trigger on my Glock 19. That's pretty legit third range, bro, but try out this trigger on my FN 509. Everybody is using some sort of acronym of a letter, number combination, or both, and it's boring. Like, we sound like droids on Star Wars talking to each other when we talk to each other on the range about guns. So we're gonna give them names that capture how awesome they are. We're gonna start with Glock. So Glock has basically just numbers. Like, it's a 17, it's a 19, it's a 22, it's a 23, 34, 35, whatever it is. It's just a bunch of numbers, and it's on you to know whether this number means it has a short barrel and is a 9mm, or maybe it's a long barrel and a 40. You have to know all of their models for it to make any sense to you. So I came up with a simplification of this, so follow me. Okay. Glock 17, mayonnaise sandwich. Glock 19, petite mayonnaise sandwich. Glock 43, you're probably seeing the theme here, but just in case. Pocket mayonnaise sandwich. You get the theme, but you also know what you're getting by the name of the gun. I'll even update the logo for Glock, free of charge. Moving on to the Walther lineup. Walther again has the acronyms. Everybody's using acronyms. You got the PPQ and the PDP and the PDPF and the PPK, the PPS, and just a lot of P's, guys. We can do better. So we're going to start with my favorite of the Walther lineup. It is the, yes, I know, I say Walther. You're like, I should say Walther. No, at this point I'm trolling you because you guys leave those comments. You know you do. So Walther. So the Walther Q4SF. Thick Boy Luxury Blaster. That's longer, isn't it? Oh well. PDP. Grippy Duty Gat. You could call it the GDG. That's way better, obviously. Walther recently released the PDP-F, and the F is for female, and that really offends males who have small hands but like the size of the gun. So I'm helping Walther out with the marketing on this one so that the guys don't get so butthurt. So we're just gonna call the PDP-F the She Blaster. That'll do it. So while you're seething in your rage at the fact that I say Walther and not Walther, you can leave a comment. What other gun brands would you like to see me talk about? Next, we're gonna move on to our friends at Canik. Now, so Canik's in a weird situation because they have the way they pronounce the brand name Janik on the other side of the world, and then we just say Canik because we don't use soft C's very much in English, so it's just Canik and whatever. But Canik decided to make some really cool guns and then name them kind of weird stuff. So let's start with the Canik Mete SFT, which is a gun I really like. SFT is kind of ridiculous and sounds almost like an 80s robot movie, so we're gonna change the name on that one. We're gonna call it the Olive Green Wonder Trigger. We're gonna abbreviate that though, so I guess we are gonna use an acronym. So we'll say that that's pronounced Ogweet. It's the Ogweet now. You're welcome. And the Rival, they really tried. They probably paid somebody in a marketing firm a lot of money, like, hey, we need to come up with a name for this competition gun. So I imagine the conversation kind of went like this. Competition gun. Friends. Enemies. Frenemies. Rival. That's what happened. I'm pretty much sure of it. So the Rival, which is largely available in the kind of this weird silver color, we're gonna call the Silver Surfer Gun who likes to wear gold trains and likes to be fancy. But that's a really long name. So we're gonna call that the SSCGWLGCBLBF, or just the SCIG for short. SSCG SCIG. Solid name. Moving on. I mean, it's better than Mete. I'm trying here, guys. Now on to Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson is hard because military and police is kind of a cool name for pistols, I guess, if it given their mission for the pistols. The problem is, like, every single gun that Smith & Wesson makes, unless it's a revolver, is called the military and police, or M&P. And some of the revolvers are called M&P. But they're not totally a lost cause because somewhere along the way, somebody had a good idea and named their .22 pistol the Victory. And they were so close to brilliance. For instance, they had a really cool competition gun, and rather than calling it something really cool, they decided to call it the Performance Center SW22 Victory Target Model 6-inch carbon fiber target barrel red dot sight. That's terrible. They could have just called it the Flawless Victory.
Flawless Victory.
Yeah, you get it.
Flawless Victory.
Or there's the S&W 22 Victory Cryptech. And again, they had a missed opportunity here. We had the Flawless Victory, could have been there. They could have called this one the Hell Yes, I Can Hit That Squirrel Here, Watch This. That's what they could have called it. Our friends at Sig Sauer couldn't be outdone by Glock, because Sig is also a super serious brand with super serious gray and white and black, like everything is like super serious. So they use a bunch of letters like P320 and P226 and P229. And it's just like, why has everything got a P in front of it? Why has it got to do that? So let's take the P320, which was awarded the Army MHS handgun challenge and now became the M17 or M18. Just call the whole lineup the Soldier. Tells you what the gun is for. Soldiers. Then all the custom works ones for people who like getting challenge coins, you call that contractor because it's like a soldier but gets paid more money. Then there's the P365 series, and they could have just called it the skinny little baby gun, but they didn't. They called it the P365, like that's supposed to tell me it's a skinny little baby gun. And then there's the P365 XL, which I just call the XL because I find that funny. It's a skinny little baby gun, but it's bigger and you call it an XL, like you get it. Now FN wants to call all of their pistols the FN 509. I don't know if it's some engineers over their favorite stormtrooper regiment or what, but everything's the 509 something. So the FN 509 will call that the, hey, what's that one on the shelf over there? I've never heard of that one. And their competition gun, which is the LS Edge, which isn't legal in USPSA Carry Optics Division or Production Division. We'll call that one the, no, that's not Carry Optics legal in USPSA. So close. Feels like I've been throwing a lot of elbows, and I do need to highlight somebody who's doing it right. Bull Armory. My competition pistol is already got an amazing name. It is the Ultimate Racer. I can't improve on that. Like, that's perfect. It captures the 90s Mountain Dew chugging, Slim Jim eating spirit of what I imagine competition shooting to be. It is perfect.
Need a little excitement? Step into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah!
Now, embracing the energy of the Ultimate Racer, they could have embodied that through the new striker-fired pistol lineup. Now, the way it's named currently is the Axe series, and depending on the trim model you get, it gets a progressively more aggressive-sounding name. So the base model's the Cleaver, then it moves up to the Hatchet, and then the Tomahawk, yeah. So they could have probably done better if they just called them all the one the G.I. Joes would have used if they cared about being awesome. Probably not. They probably wouldn't do that. Moving on to Beretta. Beretta is a very old name in firearms. They are the first to tell you that. In fact, it's written on basically every shirt that they make that they're the oldest brand in firearms. And the 92 is an iconic pistol. Absolutely iconic. It's called the 92 because it was made in the year, not 1992, but sometime in the 70s when they first kind of came up with it, because that makes sense. It really hit its stride in the early 80s when it went in for the Army trials that the M9 ultimately was awarded. Now, only a couple years ago when they updated the design for a number of modern appointments, they didn't update it to the model year that it was, they just added an X to the M. Using the old 90s philosophy of just making everything extreme, which is kind of cool, I guess. But they could have just gone with what everybody on the internet already calls them, which is Pasta Blaster. Everybody knows what you're talking about when you talk about those. You could do Spaghetti Blaster as well. I love Beretta 92s. I think they're amazing, but everybody calls them that. So another pistol that I did a review on recently was the Masterpiece Arms DS9. The DS9 sounds like a science fiction show that was produced for the CW where they get a bunch of strong female leads to ruin intellectual property that otherwise males could enjoy, but have completely checked out on going to see. You know, like all of the Marvel movies, or like in The Punisher Season 2 when Frank Castle got in a fist fight with a woman for like 15 minutes. That was the last episode that I watched of The Punisher. So anyway, the Masterpiece Arms DS9, and no, that's not like a diesel hybrid motor truck or something. I just called it the Aardvark in the video because, I mean, again, it's a fun word. It's got two A's at the front. So that's all I've got for you today, lads. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what I should have said, what your pet names for guns would be, and I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.